Pumpkinhead is a horror movie also made in the 80s. I can't remember what year.
88.
88. Oh, late 80s.
Yeah,
This movie should have been better.
Oh, I really liked it. I really liked this one.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
It's about some kind of creature that lurks out in the desert.
It's a pumpkin patch.
It's a pumpkin patch.
He comes out of a pumpkin patch. Makes perfect sense.
Obviously. Yeah, the start of the movie is I found it a little confusing, and then you get to the desert and this old dude just
Me
like
too,
doing chores and stuff.
But I think it came together at the end pretty well.
Right.
And I did have some problems with it, but I liked it.
But yeah,
generally quite a bit.
There's a little gas station, and
yeah.
This old man works there and he's got his dog and his grandson, and these people come ripping in a Corvette and a nice, looks like a 76 Blazer or something, a two-door with a trailer with 2 dirt bikes on it, and they're going to rip the dirt bikes in the desert. And so they park, and then they want to rip the dirt bikes right away. The one guy's obviously on cocaine, and he's just like, let's go right now.
Yeah,
and then he starts going, and then his buddy's like, I got to do it. And then his girlfriend's like, do you always have to encourage him? And he's like, he's my brother.
Yeah, I like that line, actually.
So then he starts ripping the dirt bike, and then the dog gets all excited about the dirt bikes, runs after him. The grandson runs after the dog. They come off a hill, hit the grandson, and then they crash their bikes. Then the kid's really hurt, like hardly breathing, and the one guy just loads up his dirt bike right away, and he's like, we're getting the hell out of here, let's go. And made his girlfriend get in the Corvette, and they just got it the hell out of there without the kid. Like, they could have picked the kid up and put him in the back seat and ripped him to the closest hospital.
Yeah.
But they don't do that.
It's dumb.
They just leave the kid in the field.
But they explain
he fucking dies, and they all leave trying to get help because there's no phone.
Yeah.
At this very remote place, and then the one guy left behind has his dirt bike with him, and the grandfather comes back, finds the kid. He's hardly breathing, probably dead already. He picks him up, puts him in the truck, and gets out of there. And then they all go back to a cabin they have. It's like a hideout, which I was like, okay. Why didn't they go there first and just, like, rip the dirt bikes over to where they wanted to rip them? Anyway.
Well, they were getting supplies, and the one guy was like, I ain't waiting for shit. I want to fucking rip the dirt bike. Because that guy's, they build him up to just be the biggest asshole. So I think that made enough sense.
And he is.
Oh, absolutely. And you want him to die. But everybody else, you're sort of like, they're fine, I guess. Everyone else, he's the one guy, you're like, he has to die. Of course, he eventually does. But he doesn't die soon enough. Like, he's in it for longer than you'd think. And you're like, come on, when's the Pumpkinhead gonna fucking get this guy, right? But yeah, I like this quite a bit. The creature effect is fantastic. It's one of my favorite creatures I've ever seen, I think. I think it looks so dope. This is close to, like, my other favorite creature is probably the alien from the Alien movies. This is on par with that, I think. It's fucking nice.
Yeah, it looked good.
It looks fantastic. I love practical effects. And it just looks so perfect. It looks like a real creature, It's great. But some people, I do want to talk about this briefly because my buddy Dylan Gatt mentioned this to me when I was about to review it. He was saying, yeah, it's okay, but doesn't really look like a pumpkin.
That's what I thought too.
And I'm like, okay, but like he's a monster. The Elephant Man is, and I'm not saying the Elephant Man's a monster, but the Elephant Man doesn't look like the elephant. Like you can say something that looks a little bit like it, just like as a describer. I think that's okay. And it has sort of like the bulbous head, like it's enough. And he comes from the pumpkin patch. They do explain at one point. That's when I stopped. It's like, oh, the pumpkin patch. But then you could be like, oh, but why the suffix head? Why pumpkin head? It must mean the pumpkin head. Anyway, that's all I got on it. But that's how I sort of, I feel that it's not a big deal. But Dylan Gatton wanted me to mention that, I think. So I was gonna do that. I heard this. Oh yeah, Hugh. I was gonna try to remember to say this pun. I heard this was a gourd movie. Says Hugh, like because pumpkins is a gourd.
Big Daddy move.
Yeah, hilarious. We missed you, man. Holy fuck, Maddie. I missed a bunch of shit. Maddie Dice. Hello, if you're still here, I'm sorry if I missed your messages. Thank you for dropping in though. 6.5 out of 10 birds is what you gave Porky's. Holy shit. You gave it considerably more than I gave it. That's okay. I didn't like it as much as you did, I don't think. We miss you, man. I heard this was, I think I liked this movie more than you liked it. And that's okay too.
Oh, that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love movies. I love the difference of opinions and the discussion and the talking into the art form and what it takes to make a movie. Okay, anyway. I heard this was a good movie. That's a good pun. I have the Pumpkinhead IMDb page open, so let's just look at it. 6.2. That's the same as fucking Porky's, isn't it? Isn't that the same? That's the same rating that Porky's had. That's funny.
That's higher than I thought it'd be.
Pumpkinhead? No, this is good. It's relatively well renowned. This doesn't surprise me.
The monster was good. I didn't think any
of
the
story.
Performances weren't very good. The story was decent.
The performances, I think Lance Henriksen is good. The main dude.
I found the witch pretty weird. And
I thought she was good too.
Trading the child's life for the monster to come fuck those people up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but it's a little different, and I like that. And I also liked how it turns around, and you don't really understand it, and sort of spoilers alert, but they sort of explain how it works with the Pumpkinhead. Each Pumpkinhead, okay, I'm gonna start from the very beginning. So they bring the child that is this dead fucking corpse, basically. You bring this corpse to the old lady from the pumpkin patch, and you give it to the old lady, and she stabs your hand, puts it on the fucking thing, and it turns into, or something like that, and it turns into the Pumpkinhead, and it grows into the creature, and it's a really cool scene for that. But yeah, well, fuck, where was I going with this? the Pumpkinhead. It looks really good, that transformation scene. I do forget where I was going with this. G-Bergs, do you know where I was going with this? I don't remember.
I don't.
Okay, that's okay. Let's look up the budget. Maybe I'll remember in a bit. But yeah, Pumpkinhead, and the budget and the box office. Sometimes the internet knows. Sometimes it won't tell you. Maybe it'll tell me on IMDb. Did you know? Very well executed film. See? People on the internet like it. Box office, $3.5 million budget. So that's that's a relatively low budget. Oh yeah, I was going with the performances. That's what I was gonna say. Is the performances are good, with it, and I was just trying to explain the Pumpkinhead, what happens with it, and how they tie it all together. But the way the Pumpkinhead happens, I explained that they do the ceremony, the old lady with your blood and the dead person that's a shriveled up corpse, turn it into Pumpkinhead, and then that turns around, because once you give the blood to Pumpkinhead, you are cursed, and we find out later that the only way to kill Pumpkinhead, and sort of spoilers alert, but I don't care. It's cool. I'm talking about it. Spoiler alert. You can't kill Pumpkinhead by just shooting but you can kill Pumpkinhead by killing the person who sent Pumpkinhead, because they're linked, and then once they're dead, then they become the new Pumpkinhead that goes in the pumpkin patch that someone can later get and turn into a new pumpkin. I like it because it turns it around. It makes it it sets it up for another sequel, but it's not in such an obvious way. It's maybe it'll be a sequel. Maybe if the movie doesn't do well, there won't be, but if it does, it will be. And the movie did well. There is sequels to this, I think, and I actually would watch them. But yeah, I don't know. I did like the story, and the acting's maybe not great all around, but I think Lance Hendricks was good. And I didn't mind the old lady. I thought she was creepy, and the makeup was good, and it looked cool.
Her makeup was good, and she was creepy.
And the the lighting, and yeah, maybe the acting all around, like for the kids, wasn't great, but it was. I think it was passable for a B movie, and I look over that kind of stuff for a lot of B movies because they made a movie. It's so hard to make a movie, and they made one of the greatest creatures that I've ever seen. So huge credit for that.
And the grandpa does something kind of evil to get revenge on the kids. So it's like if he dies, it's like, well, yeah, this is like, I don't know. It's a real thin line between.
Yeah, it's true. It's like what is right? Because like the kids, they obviously shouldn't have just left that kid to die. The one guy had like a DUI or something, or like a previous hit and run that this. I want to call him Meat because he reminds me from Meat and Porky's, but it's not. But it's not Meat. It's whatever. I don't know what his name is, but he's like the dickhead. They'll just call him the dickhead.
Basically.
Well, just call him the dickhead because he's like the obvious asshole in the movie. Who's like, oh, I don't want to fucking save this child's life because the cops want me. I'm just gonna ride my dirt bike out of here. And then they go to the cabin.
He's throwing his friends around and locking them in closets and shit.
Yeah, he's insane. I was like, this guy's toxic. Fuck this guy. But obviously he's got to get pumpkin-headed, right? It's creepy, says Spaghetti. Absolutely. It's
it
creepy.
Is, yeah.
And I think it's the lighting, like the shots are pretty nice. One thing, I haven't said much negative about it. I do have a couple negative things. So when the part that you were talking about earlier with all the kids leaving the one kid with the kid, if that makes sense, that's dying. The one teenager is with the kid that's dying, and Lance Hendricks comes over, and I hope I'm saying his name right. It's either Lance Hendricks or Lance Hendrickson, either way. But anyway, he comes over, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? My kid's on the ground. But there's no conversation. And they address that later.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a little weird. And like later on he knows that the kid's hit and runs. I guess like what else could happen? But like it's never explained that he was hit and run. He just like tells the old lady that he was hit and run. Like he knows. I just would have liked like literally it could have been one line or like but there wasn't. There was no. He just said we're sorry. That's it, But good. Other than that was the one thing I can think of that I was like I don't know about that, but everything else like with you can get into the magic aspect of it. Be like oh I don't know about certain aspects of that don't make sense, but it's magic, so you let it slide. Or at least I do. I enjoyed this film quite a bit. And I'm running out of stuff to say. I want to look at. I know we already did it, but I'm curious. I want to look at the box office of Porky's. So this movie though, Pumpkinhead. It made like, I guess it wasn't a huge hit when it came out, but it made enough money. It made like $4.5 million over its $3 million budget. So that's.
Oh, Porky's made a shitload of money.
Yeah, Porky's made probably way more money. I'm gonna look at it right now. If it's because IMDb, I guess it's been showing me the budget lately, which is cool. But I just have to scroll down. Details. Box office, 2.5 million estimated. Holy fuck, yeah, that's pretty huge. 111 million gross, U.S. and Canada. That's huge.
Yeah, big time.
Absolutely, bananas big. But yeah. I'm running out of stuff to say about this. Have you got anything else to say about Pumpkinhead?
Not really, my friend.
Pumpkinhead.
Decent, corny, 80s movie, man.
Yeah.
Good time.
I think that it was less corny than some, but it had some cheese. It was that era for sure. But for that, I mean, like they really made a great like the creature looks real. Like it looks.
I love the cheese.
It looks fantastic. Me too, absolutely. But yeah, I'm going to rate it. Let's rate it. I'm going to give. I like this a lot more than Porky's, so I'll give it a considerably higher rating than that. But let's put on a mother loving beat. This is from Patrick Swangen's Jesus Beat. Yeah, this is good. This is like, for me, I liked it. I'm gonna give it, like, I liked it quite a bit. I'm gonna give it 8.6. I'm feeling that. 8.6. Yeah, I like 6 out of 10. Fair enough. To each their own. But you know, I thought the creature effects were great. It was a fun horror. I loved Me the Pumpkinhead, and there was good suspense. So it was good pacing. It was good. 8.6 out of 10. Pumpkinhead.